Well, good Thursday evening, everyone. Todd Warren here on Facebook Live tonight with an update on the potential for severe weather across the Arklatex, as it looks like it's going to be a rough night for much of the area. In fact, in terms of wind, this actually could be the worst of the complexes that we've seen, the swaths that we've seen move across the area. Coming up, I'll give you the details on the timing of these thunderstorms, where the winds could be at their strongest, exactly how strong those winds will be. We're also looking at the potential for some rather large hail. I'll kind of touch on that as well. I'm going to spend most of the time looking at the HRRR model. The Futurecast seems a bit off, so I'm not even going to waste your time showing you that, as the HR seems to have a pretty good handle on things. You can see the thunderstorms, which are moving towards the southeast at around 35 miles per hour, now north of Dallas. We do have a couple of we did have a couple of tornado warnings. The bottom part of that is still spinning. I suspect that we'll soon see, no word yet, but we'll probably soon see a watch issued for most of our area. And right now I would kind of lean towards tornado watch, so we'll see. That risk is probably going to be decreasing. The main concern tonight is going to be damaging winds, as I'll get to here in a second. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to ask away. What I'm going to do, it's going to be a little different tonight since we're kind of in severe weather mode. I'm going to kind of go through the short-term aspect of things. Then I'll kind of look through the list of comments and questions and try to answer any questions. So if you're saying hi, hello to everyone. I'm not going to go down the list just to save time, because obviously quite a bit to talk about tonight. So let me get going here. First of all, you can see the thunderstorms, and I'm going to kind of touch on these a bit more here in a second, but I wanted to touch on the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. This outlook just came out about 20 minutes ago, and you can see we were in a slight to enhanced. Notice the expansion of the enhanced risk. That is not a surprise, to be honest with you, just based on what the HRRR model has been indicating in terms of wind potential with these thunderstorms. It's quite possible we could see some winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour across parts of the Arklatex, where the brunt of this complex that's on the way will move through. So again, wind going to be a big concern. Large hail, I would say up to golf balls possible. Probably not as big as we've seen earlier in the week. The biggest hail more than likely will be where the storms arrive sooner, over the northwestern sections of the area. That's probably where the storms themselves will be stronger as well. And also, if we're going to have any spinning storms, that risk is looking highest over the northwestern edge of the area. So this is the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center as far as the watches that we have in place right now. Did I not have that on here? I thought I did. Maybe it's in this one. No, I guess I didn't. But nonetheless, so we don't have any watches in place for our area as of right now, but that will change as these storms get a little bit closer. So let me go back to the radar here and show you what is happening across the region here. Switch back to the radar, and you can see that we have two clusters of storms that very well could impact our weather. We have this one right here, which the brunt of which is now moving along the Red River, and this is moving towards the southeast at around 35 miles per hour. Then we have this cluster of storms right behind it, which is also going to move to the southeast at pretty much the same speed. And so it's looking as if we could have a 1-2 punch, and you'll kind of see that in the guidance from the HRRR model. Now, we did have some thunderstorms earlier down here across central Texas. You can see those are already gone, and that is exactly what the HRRR showed would happen. So unlike last night, when the HRRR kind of missed the decrease in the thunderstorms, it didn't do that tonight. And the difference between here for us today and yesterday is yesterday we had those thunderstorms move through much of the area in terms of the outflow late in the morning and during the early afternoon. The atmosphere didn't have time to recover. Obviously today we're pretty much waiting for those storms to get here. All right, so that being said, we have these two clusters. I'm going to kind of clear this up here. I'm going to do what I did during the early newscast, and it looks like they're moving at 35 miles per hour. I'm going to try to make a point with this. So again, moving at that rate, they arrive western edge of the area between 10, say 10:30 and 11. and then assuming if they get into Texarkana, it looks like after 1, and Shreveport looks like closer to 2, based on this current speed. Now you're going to see something different with the HR, and I'll tell you what that could mean here in a second. But based on the current speed, this is the time frame for Shreveport. Again, Jefferson about 12:50, Mount Pleasant about 11:30. Let's say Ringgold close to 3, and they move out by about 4. Okay, if they were to go down towards Natchitoches, it'd be 3:30, but they're probably going to stay north of Natchitoches. So that's just based on the current speed, the timing of the storms that we could see arrive. And obviously the second one, I'm going to let the HR handle the timing on that. So speaking of the HR, let me switch that over. Again, this I show this because this model updates every single hour. In fact, got a new run between 5 o'clock and the 6 o'clock newscast, and there was a difference, faster during the 6, and that's been the trend here recently. So here we go. I'm going to kind of show you this. I do have some pause points in here, and you can see the storms moving in. So you saw the timing there, 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. Shreveport. So that's pretty close to what I pointed out. Here comes the second wave, and you probably saw that the timing in Texarkana, the brunt of it, this first one, probably stays to the south of Texarkana. Let's move this forward here a couple of hours, and obviously I don't have the time, the pause point set as like I did in the early newscast, but it does look like a couple later tonight we'll see the storms move into Texarkana, and then they will be left in the morning with more storms here across the northern part of the area. All right, so since I really didn't show the time here, I thought I had put the pause points in this. I had them every couple of hours, but obviously I don't. I must have changed that. I'm going to go back and talk about Texarkana based on the current radar here in a second. And you can see that in the morning we'll have to watch southwest Arkansas, especially maybe south central Arkansas. I don't know if Betty, if you're watching, those are the storms that could impact you. And then we should see some improvement as we head into the afternoon as what's left of the storms. There we are, 1 o'clock Shreveport. That was 4 o'clock Texarkana for that second wave. I'm going to try to let this loop play, and you can kind of keep an eye on your area. So again, about 10 o'clock, it looks like the timing I pointed out with this first wave, just looking at the right in here, the timing of that, the timing of Shreveport, and the timing of moving out, that what I indicated with just based on the current speed is correct. So again, it looks like about 35 miles per hour. So the second wave, I'll kind of watch this as this loop plays through again. It looks like, let's see, wave 2 o'clock, and then 3, 4 o'clock in Texarkana. And then you have your early morning thunderstorms over the north and east. All right, I'll tell you what I want to do here. I'm going to make a quick change here on the fly, and this will not take me very long. I think I can fix this to where I can show what I thought I was going to show, and then I can switch back if I need to. All right, so, or maybe I can't. No, I can't. Not with that. What did oh, I know what it is. Okay, it's on this one. Or no, it's not. Bear with me. I did things a little different tonight on the air, so that's what's thrown me off here just a bit. So here's the one. This is what I'm going to, again, there we go. So this is where I put all the pause points in, and there's a graphic that's going to come on here I wanted to show too. So here we are, 11 o'clock. You can see the timing, Mount Pleasant, 11 o'clock. You can see that first wave, Texarkana, you get the northern edge of it by about midnight. So about midnight or so, Jefferson. Here we go, 12 to 1 o'clock, Shreveport, the worst probably closer to 1 o'clock. And then you can see going in, there you go, 1 o'clock. And then we move on, 2 o'clock, the storm's moving pretty much out of the area. And then we have the second wave late. I'm going to play this one more time. And you saw the graphics that played on the screen there. So I'm going to play this through yet again. Again, I just wanted to show you as much as I possibly can what we could be looking at. So the main concern with this is going to be damaging winds, and we could see a pretty good swath in the middle of this complex where we see wind gusts of 70 to 80 miles per hour. The HRRR did have a gust in Shreveport almost 80. Is that going to happen? That doesn't necessarily guarantee that's going to happen. Just what the guidance is showing is possible, if you will. Also, it did show upwards of golf ball sized hail possible, although might be a little bit smaller than that. So those are the two main threats. Tornadoes will be possible, but they should be somewhat isolated in nature for the most part. We're going to have to watch the northwest edge of the area if we're going to have any spinning storms. That's when they're going to happen here as they begin to move in during the course of the next couple of hours. Okay, let me go ahead and, since I had this sequence on, go ahead and show you what is on the way for tomorrow. So this is tomorrow morning. You can see things do improve. There's the risk for tomorrow, basically for those storms that are left over in the morning. All right, so a marginal to slight severe weather risk, wind, hail, the issue with those storms for Hope, Magnolia, maybe over in Union County, but if you're watching. All right, as far as rainfall, this graphic can often show you where the storms will be strongest. So you can see this is wave number 1 right in here, okay? Here's wave number 2. So you can see the swath here of 1 to 3 inches possible with these storms moving through, and then also a good 1 to 2 inches over southwest Arkansas with that second wave. This would include the thunderstorms that obviously happen in the morning. Okay, we'll take a break for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, into Saturday, although the HR run this morning did have a few pop-up thunderstorms maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. Wouldn't surprise me given how this week has gone. But then we'll take a break Saturday, I think, and then Sunday there's another shot for some thunderstorms here over the northeastern sections of the area. So again, the onslaught continues until we get that ridge built over us and that trough over the northeast out of here. There's no reason to believe that we would see much change. We might see the path of these storms kind of go back and forth in the coming days. It does look like it's going to lift more towards the northeast heading through the weekend. You can see that here with this outlook from SPC, but that's not yet set in stone. If that ridge doesn't strengthen up any, or maybe moves to the east and that the heights fall a little bit, we could see the path actually move more southwest. So there's still this is a very difficult pattern to nail down. You may have noticed as we've gone through the week, the short-term forecast has pretty much changed every day because the high-res models are seeing things that the low-res models didn't see. All right, so that's what's happening because we're talking about much smaller scale things causing it. All right, so that's what's on the way for tonight, tomorrow. Let me switch this back over to my to the hand tracker here and the radar, and I think I'll be ready and set to go here. So I will put this into motion, then I can answer any questions that you may have here as it's getting a little bit late. All right, let's see. Again, hello to everyone. I'm looking for questions. Hello there, Jack, and everyone. Let's see. Yeah, here we go again, Cindy. You got that right. Got some ping pongs, huh, Stephen? I saw your picture and video. I didn't see any hail. Of course, I scanned through a bunch of video. It's coming, Christopher, although we will probably get it worse in Shreveport than Texarkana will. I will tell you that at this point, the way it looks. Renee, wind's going to be an issue tonight, although for you there in Little River County, maybe not so much compared to what we have on the way. Jessica, very good, actually. You might be on the southern edge of it, but very good. Let's see. Janice, I probably have already answered your question, but based on what I mentioned for Texarkana, it's probably going to be in that ballpark, after midnight tonight is pretty much really all I can tell you. This first wave is not really going to impact you that much. It is going to be late tonight, 2 to 4, I would say a window for you, maybe closer to 4. Janice, I'm debating that right now. It's been a long week, and I don't know what's on the way for tomorrow. Gas tank's getting a little bit empty. It depends on what we're looking at here. If we have tornadoes, then definitely no. If it's wind, I may jump on occasionally and give an update as it moves into the area. Gail, I've kind of answered that question. Nelda, this is happening right now on June 15th. So there you go. Let's see. Sorry to hear that, Andrew. Yes, it would be a low for the morning, Gary, as far as the tornado risk. The biggest risk is when these things just move through. And it's encouraging that this storm is no longer spinning. Notice that as that tornado warning expired, a new one has not been issued. That could be a short-term thing, but that is a good trend. And we don't have as many tornado warnings as we once did, so that's a sign, good sign. But to be honest with you, folks, the winds that we could be looking at could be more widespread than a 200-yard wide tornado. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We're looking at thunderstorm winds that are very well could be stronger than what we typically see with a thunderstorm warning. Okay, now there are tags where it's just a thunderstorm warning. Then if it's winds of 70 miles per hour, there's a considerable damage tag. And then if it's 80 miles per hour, it's the word escapes, destructive tag is added. And that's when the wind gusts are anticipated to be 80 miles per hour, and that destructive tag, or if you have the baseball-sized hail, your phone's going to go off when a severe thunderstorm warning is issued, and that's the only time for a thunderstorm warning. That's right, Gail. They certainly can. So that is pretty much everything I have for you. Let me go through. Let's see if I've shown everything here. And again, I would show you Futurecast, but again, it is way off, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is what it's showing for hail. So it has the path of these storms way up here to the north, which is 70 miles off. All right. So what this tells you too is you can kind of see something from this though. Notice more white at the beginning of this and how it kind of goes away. The new development in the morning could be up north, could be an issue, is what you might take from that as well. And again, this only goes to 3 a.m. So again, grain of salt. Again, ignore everything I just said because this is wrong. I've tried to make an inference from it, but obviously I shouldn't have. So that is, let's take another quick peek at the radar here and see if there's anything else that I can draw from it. And I'll do a quick, since it's been about 20 minutes since I've, since it's been about 20 minutes, so let me see if I can do another quick run through on the timing. Let's go to now. Again, assuming 35 miles per hour. Again, you can see the motion of it. Let's say 11 o'clock northwest edge. Let's say Jefferson, midnight, Shreveport, 1 to 2. And if what you just saw with the HR is faster, that means that maybe the model thinks we might see an acceleration in the speed, which can happen. So again, wind is going to be the big issue. And the point I just made with this is that we no longer have a tornado warning here. Let's fingers crossed that continues and hope that this follows suit with that activity that is behind it. The big question is, will we see a right turn with this? Will it go more of the line that I'm showing here, or will we see a turn more towards East Texas and the southern half of northwest Louisiana? Just because the HR says it's going to go here, obviously it can be wrong. So just so for you folks in Texarkana, again, for you the timing looks like this. If it were to come your way, 12:30, but you got more stuff back here that again arrives between 2 and 4, probably closer to 3 to be honest with you. So that's pretty much the latest on that we have. Sorry to hear that, Jack. Hopefully you didn't get any too much of damage from that. Gale, they are possible. Can't rule out the tornado or two. It'll be very telling to see if we have a tornado watch or a severe thunderstorm watch, and still no word yet on what is coming. I'm kind of on the fence on that, so we'll see. And you can see a new tornado warning has been issued. So again, it's probably going to be a tornado warning since these things are still spinning, but that risk will definitely go down moving forward. All right, so that is pretty much everything I have for you tonight. A quick look at the forecast for the next 10 days, and you can see that tonight. Thunderstorms likely. Severe weather I have possible, but you might as well say likely for somewhere in the area, as we'll see temperatures that will fall into the 60s north, 67 tonight for the low temperature in Texarkana. Looking at temperatures in Shreveport at 72, 68 degrees for the low temperature in Marshall. And then looking ahead to tomorrow, again, a few lingering storms north and northeast in the morning, but we've become partly cloudy in the afternoon. I tried to highlight the good part of it. Shreveport, only 20% chance of rain. You can see those numbers are higher. DeQueen, Hope, Magnolia, maybe Texarkana, closer to that second wave in the morning. The storm should move out during the morning, and then partly cloudy in the afternoon. 89 in Texarkana, 93 in Shreveport, 97 for the high in both Manning as well as in Natchitoches. 10-day forecast, and I must tell you, there's a great deal of uncertainty with this, given the pattern that we have. Models have not done well at all with this ridge that we're waiting to build in, and they're still kind of advertising that happen. So as of right now, I don't have any rain for next week. I seriously thought about putting a 20 every day just because of that uncertainty. But nonetheless, notice the temperature's not as high. Mid to upper 90s still possible, lows in the mid 70s. And again, we do have that second chance for some thunderstorms that could be severe Sunday. Should have a better handle on that as the high-res models will go out that far tomorrow. So we'll talk about Sunday a bit more tomorrow after we get tonight's mess through here. Well, that will pretty much do it for me tonight. Let me turn this off and again kind of show you the radar real quickly as it is in motion, and we'll be watching these make their way through the area. Again, in case you're just tuning in, the main threats, the threat number one, damaging winds of 70 to maybe even 80 miles per hour will be possible. Looking at large hail, as of right now, I would say up to golf balls, but probably smaller. I don't think we're going to see the big hail that we've seen from this initial wave anyway. Tomorrow could have some decent hail across the north and east. And then a tornado or two will be possible, especially over the northwest half of the area where the storms arrive soonest. That's the latest on what's on the way for tonight. Be sure to tune in tonight at 9 on Fox as well as at 10 on NBC6. Of course, I'll have an additional run of the HRRR model. A new one comes in every hour, very latest on that output on the possible timing, and I'll also do the same thing with the radar itself. So again, we'll talk to you on the air again at 9 and 10. Until then, have a great night and stay safe. Good night.